Now, I do know that most DIY recipes you see on the internet will tell you, okay, use 2 cups of water, use 10 drops of essential oil, use 1 drop of fragrance oil, and so on. However, that is not a reliable way of making your products, especially if these are products that you hope to use in starting a business anytime soon. And if these are products that you want to use satisfactorily in your home and gift out to your friends and to your family, you want to make products that will stand the test of time. And you want to make a body cream today, and when making that same body cream tomorrow, you want it to remain the same. Think of a formula as a template or a framework that guides you on how to make a particular product the same way every time. When you have a formula, you have power, because if I make 1 liter or 1,200 grams of liquid soap on my channel, it will not restrict you. You don't need to just make that amount. You can decide that, okay, I want just 200 grams or I want 5,000 grams. You have that power because you have the template, because you have a formula. However, like I said before, one of the challenges is people do not know how to convert these formulas into a recipe in grams. That is what we are going to do today. So we are going to go over to my favorite place, to the board. Well, I don't actually have a board, but I improvised one. So let's go there and let's learn how to change our formula to a recipe in grams. So now for our illustration, we want to make a liquid detergent, and we have seen a formula. If you go through my channel, you see that I give formulas in percentages. The reason why I do this is so that you'll be able to make as much or as little soap as you want to make from the comfort of your home, and you can customize that formula to make the quantity that you need. So you don't need to make 1 liter of soap because I did, or you don't need to make 10 liters of soap because that's what I made in my video. So we're going to use a sample formula, and I'm going to teach you how to convert this formula to a recipe in grams. So our first ingredient is deionized water. Second ingredient is disodium. Now, these are our ingredients we want to use in making our liquid detergent. Now, when you want to create your formula, water is the last thing you calculate. You have to wait until you have the percentages of every other thing. Then you use water to make it up to 100%. So we're going to be using disodium EDTA at 0.1%, caustic soda at 0.4%, SLES, that is Texaco, we're using it at 10%. We're using LAPSA, aka sulfonic acid, at 3%. We're also using CDEA at 1%. We're using cocamidopropylbetaine, that's CAPB, at 4%. We're using 2% of glycerin. Methylparaben is our preservative. We're using it at 0.1%. We're using salt to thicken at 0.6%. And we're using fragrance of our choice at 0.4%. Now, if you add all these other ingredients up, it is going to give you a total that remains 78.4% to make it up to 100. So don't worry about creating formulas. Today we are learning how to convert an already made formula into grams. Subsequently on this channel, I'm going to be teaching you how to create your own formula, just like I have created this one. So, but today that is not our focus. When you add this up, it gives you 100%. So it means that this is complete. But now we want to make 3,000 grams or 3 kg of the liquid detergent. If you were making 100 grams, you will use these, right? But now we want to make 3,000 grams. How do we go about it? Now, what we simply need to do is to say water, the amount of water that will be in 3,000 grams of this liquid detergent can be gotten by saying 78.4 divided by 100, which would give you what? 78.4% means 78.4 divided by 100, right? And that would give you 0.784. Now, this 0.874, you multiply it by 3,000 grams times 3,000 grams. The answer will be 2,352 grams. 2,352 grams. So that is the total amount of water that we need to use in this detergent. So here we have 2,352 grams. We have converted for water. We are done with water. Now, the same thing goes if we were to be making 10,000 grams of this liquid soap. What we'll simply do is to say 78.4 divided by 100, and we'll multiply the answer by 5,000, by 10,000, by 250. It will give you the value. So the formula is constant. The formula remains the same. What it simply means is that if I follow this method, I would make the exact same kind of liquid soap every time. Whether I'm making 150 gallons, whether I'm making 1 liter, whether I'm making 500 mils, it will give me the same result so long as I use these same ingredients and in these same percentages. That is the reason why I prefer to give my formulas in percentages instead of saying use 100 ml of water, use 1 cup of water, use 2 drops of oil, no, those are not precise measurements. The reason why we use formulas is that formulas are more scientifically accurate. Anytime I apply this formula, it will give me the same result. So it means even if I am going to be making 1,000 gallons of soap, like I open a factory and I want to make 1 million liters of soap, I am still going to get the same results because I am using the same formula. So when you ask, why is it that major brands like those brands you buy in the supermarket, whenever you buy their liquid soap, it is the same. You won't see any difference. The only difference may be in the color or in the scent, but the consistency, the performance is always the same. The simple secret is that they are using a formula. They are not formulating from their head. Okay, now we are going to go ahead to get the value of every other um, item, every other ingredient that we are going to be using. We have done the calculation for water and we are going to go over for disodium EDTA. If you want to learn more about the functions of these ingredients, please go to I'm going to link the video where I make liquid soap because I actually talk about the functions of these ingredients. So if you are new to my channel, you may want to click on that video and watch it so that you know why we are using all these ingredients and their details. Today what we are doing is to get our recipe from a formula. When you are formulating, it is not like cooking where you put salt and you taste if it's enough, then you put more. Or no, you have to be precise so that your customer will not say, oh, yesterday I bought your liquid soap and it worked very well for me, but this your liquid soap today, I don't understand. No, you should be able to have templates, formulas, structures, frameworks that would ensure that your customer gets the same results every time that they use your product. So we are going to calculate for disodium EDTA, and we have 0.1 divided by 100. That gives us 0.001. And then we multiply it by 3,000. That's times 3,000 grams. And that will give us 3 grams. So it means that in this recipe for 3,000 grams, we are using just 3 grams of disodium EDTA. Then we go over to caustic soda. We have 0.4 divided by 100 gives us 0.004. Then we multiply by 3,000. And that gives us 12 grams of caustic soda. Are you following? Now we have SLES, that's Texaco. We have 10 divided by 100. That will give us 0.1. And we multiply it by 3,000 grams times 3,000 grams. That gives us 300 grams. We have our LASA, that's sulfonic acid, and we have it at 3%. That's 3 divided by 100. That gives us 0.03. times 3000. That gives us 90 grams. We move on to the next one. This one, CDA has 1%. So we have 1 divided by 100 equal to 0.01 times 3000 grams. That gives us 30 grams. We go on to use cocamidopropylbutene, 4 divided by 100. That gives us 0.04 times 3000 grams. That gives us 120 grams. We go over to glycerin, 2 divided by 100 equal to 0.02 times 3000 grams. That gives us 60. Paraben, we have 0.001 divided by 100 is equal to 0.1 for the paraben is 0.1 times 100. So it gives us 0.001 times 3000 grams. That gives us 3 grams. Okay, then we have salt at 0.6. So we have 0.6 times 100, which gives us 0.006 times 3000 grams. That gives us what? 18 grams. Then we have our scent, which is our fragrance. We have 0.4 times 100. That gives us 0.004 times 3000 grams. 12 grams. By the time we add this up, it gives us a total of 3000 grams. So simple and easily done. We have gotten our formula. We have converted our formula successfully to give us what we need to use to get 3000 grams of liquid soap. So you can decide, okay, I want to make just 500 grams because it is the first time and I need just 500 grams. All you need to do, you do this exact same calculation, but you see this 3000, just change it to 500. This place where we have 3000, you change it to 1500. You change it to whatever you want to achieve. So this is how to convert from a formula in percentages to a recipe in grams. So now we can take this and run with it to make our liquid soap. And I am also going to shoot a video where I actually use this to make a liquid soap so that you can see how it comes out. You can see the result of this. I hope I have been able to show you how to change from a formula in percentages, to a recipe in grams. If you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section, and I will definitely provide more information. However, please take a good look at this, replay this video as often as possible, and challenge yourself. You can decide to say, okay, I'll change this to 500 grams and drop it in the comments. I'll be so glad to see that, because I will then be convinced that you have really learned something. Don't say, oh, I'm not a scientist. I didn't do science. How can I work on this? I am not a scientist either. I am a guidance counselor by training. So what is the relationship between me and somebody who maybe studied chemistry? But you do not need to be a chemist or a scientist to make your own liquid soap or your own body wash or your own body lotion or body butter. That is what I started this channel to show you. It's science. Science is applicable to everyone. So don't be scared. Don't say, no, it's not for me, it's for science people. Let them just give me a recipe. No, stop following people's recipes. Develop your formulas, change them to recipes, and you can make magic. Till I upload the next video. Bye, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up on this video if you found it useful, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that when next I upload such a video, you will be the first to know.